Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Colin, and I'm just going to try and keep this episode of the Political Minute short and sweet as possible. I've tried not commenting on the Ukrainian war. I've tried actually even taking myself away from YouTube. I must say it is one of the most understood and yet acceptable ways, and I say that against what is being said, it is going exactly like Putin wanted. It is a slow, different war where none of his troops will ever be caught being overzealous or anything else, and no one will ever come behind their lines and pinch them like in World War II and encircle hundreds of thousands of Russian troops, good Russian troops. And I use the word good because they were. They were fighting against Hitler. And they shot them until they surrendered in German. This is a slow, long, drawn-out war. And my proof of this actually was reported on YouTube with Canadian Prepper, where numerous women on the Belarus border, and this will be a war that is not going to be informed of properly on mainstream news media. I am not trying to say they're bad, they're on the wrong side of politics. It will be reported through YouTube and the internet with when it can get in and out. These women are being forced into basically painters' vans, into unmarked white buses with no windows. They are being taken. The only reason why they are being taken is you take women like this for long-term attritional war. You will breed them up, however it is, even if you have to get a surrogate for them. And they will be naturally to the tongue of the person that you are trying to infiltrate. They will look more like them. They will be trained by you. Nature and nurture harnessed together. This means that it is a long, drawn-out war. He has plans to invade the different areas where he can and have women and people selected for their traits, as well as men. There will be young men rounded up. In a way, I'm not trying to be mean, but in a very bloody, civilian, destructionable war, men and women will become more, shall we say, sexually promiscuous or active. Young boys on the Ukrainian line will be taken off for these specific purposes. 12, 14, 16, 18. Europe has a thought that as long as they're under 21, they can be broken for this. Women that would be targeted would be those in their 30s, simply because they can be broken more for their natural nature. They become more sexually active as they get older and even have a desire for children. There are other things that are more severe, and when Canadian Prepper reported this on his channel, I knew immediately then, as everyone was expecting this blitz, and they're trying to see what NATO will jump with first. And it will be nothing more short of extreme slaughter, because there's no way that NATO can roll in and take over. Russia needs Ukraine, not for its resources really, but for its farmland. It can get all the resources it needs funneling directly into Romania. There are wonderful things of the Ukrainian people. I've tried talking to them. I tried having a relationship with a woman. The rumors that I heard over this woman when she wouldn't meet me and she was put into the hospital with a feeding tube are straight up from what the Romans did to people. And it was very old. It was very tribalistic. I will leave it at that. And I will say, in a way, I am, to an extent, personally involved. Doesn't matter my own personal beliefs or anything else. But I will say that the Ukrainians themselves will fight, will stand, just like they did at World War II underneath Mussolini. And then he turned it over to the Germans. I've known some of the people from the concentration camps that they had there under Mussolini. They were not the survivors, in a way, even though they claimed they are. They were the ones running it. They put them here for whatever it is to try and learn things about them. They are an extremely sophisticated, charming, and absolute depraved with extreme indifference at a level that would make something out of, how they say, vampiric charm from Dracula or something. Would be like a unwept, unkept wretch from a homeless center. With everything being done in Ukraine, it is the breadbasket for his future push through. Just as Czechoslovakia was supposedly that for Hitler, it will be that way for him. And to quote John Hagee, where he says there will be Muslim manpower. This nation has forgotten that under Nicaea, Muslim manpower is Eastern Orthodox. Russia became an Eastern Orthodox Christian country upon its separation from the Soviet Union. Everyone there is born under Christianity. And the people who are natural human sacrifices will be natural human sacrifices. They'll be used up in fodder on the front lines however they can. The others will be taken care of and have more advanced weapons as they have the others in front of them be burned out. Putin, I do believe, while he may go into Romania in those areas showing a natural chokeover, would push to Nicaea, being that he is a very religious man, and he would have to be dying in office in order to be sainted, and the new Russian Orthodox Church that is made underneath their form of government right now. After that, I think that he would push all the way towards Rome and Venice rather than going to Germany and more northern areas of Poland. I think that he would push that way simply because he believes that he is on a righteousness path in order to remove Nazis that the West said that it would take care of and never did and never handled. While I do not believe they've used a vacuum bomb yet, it would destroy the soil too much. But would they use such a device in the middle of a city? Yes, if need be. I will say there are numerous scams. I signed up for one area very quickly on a dating site again to try it. And sure enough, things came. And there are numerous people that have photos of people that might have even been in your neighborhood back in the 70s and 80s, because we did have open immigration allowed and non open immigration allowed underneath the czars. There are several people from the Eastern Europeans that did used to live here, mostly immigrating in the 1860s to 1880s. In and of this, them asking for money, you can almost hear someone on a Bluetooth who's over there. He's just reading along and talking, and there's no way that it should ever even line up. And that one should not send any money and should resist anything. If there's any money to be sent, ask the State Department for a type of fund or relief, or where you can give cell phones to individuals over there. They have special deals that they can get that through the government at almost cost. And with this, they will probably be coming from Silicon Valley or a facility that would be making them somewhere in the USA. They have plans like that set up. You just have to look for them. Do not send money directly to a person over there. I've actually thought about it, since there's one or two that are just so obvious that if I had spare money with my income tax, just for whatever reason, knowing that the government's going to be tracking every dime that goes through, and two, I'm a little hot as it is, which I don't care. I've got nothing really to hide. And it's like, we know about that girl you were with back right after high school. Okay, big deal. There's a lot worse. So keep going for it. And with everything, I figured if I sent $100 over there, it'd trigger something with everything going on. I do not advise anybody else. I'm just saying I was tempted. I know there's a lot of situations over there. The Apple servers can't connect. Nothing can connect on anything. And can't even connect really to China right now, even on a dating site. Nothing goes through. And I know Meta's shut down for WhatsApp and everything else. So there's no video coming over. What is able to come over is extremely limited and everything else. And there's no way to get in contact with anyone. With everything, I think that's everything I can really say. While they're looking at anti-tank weapons, you have to realize a Stinger or something else like that is pretty old weaponry. There are other things to take out tanks that are much, much more. And they've started bombing dams, I've been told. It's one of the easiest ways to bring in water to Crimea. But as it is, it's the easiest way to take out civilians that could be harboring or anything else that would take a shotgun and do nothing more than ricochet it off the side of a armored troop carrier. Stingers, while they will take out tanks, are not the effectiveness that you would need, really. nowadays at the heaviest armored Russian vehicle convoys. They would be sending in their old situations, but mostly the Stingers are made to take out troop personnel. They've already hit the military bases with some of the great explosions and everything else, and depots, which is basically what they've been trying to take out. As it is, I'll end this right here. And say thank you for listening.